Hello, I'm Olivia Moran,
And I'm Hallie Fight.
and for our project, we interviewed the manager of Basil's Fresh Pasta in Delhi.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
Perfect. And so Patrick Sullivan is the manager of Basil's, and Basil's opened June 2013. And he graduated from App State with a major or a degree in city planning. And he grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and now lives in Boone.
Okay, so the first question we asked him was what inspired him the most to go into this industry. And he talked about how he grew up near Pasta and Provisions Italian Market in Charlotte. And he really liked the feel of the restaurant, so that really inspired him to make his own restaurant by hand and do everything. Um, but at the restaurant, they made everything by hand. Everything was kind of from scratch, so he really liked the idea of that. And then when he came to Boone, he co-owned Melanie's, but never had any sort of restaurant business before that. Um, but he was just kind of inspired by the restaurant business and what it could do, and then eventually he wanted to do more with it. Oh God.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. And the next question we asked was, what are your goals for the restaurant? And so one big thing that he wants Basil's to be is just a really friendly environment for people who come in. And he also really wants it to be a place that has a lot to offer. So you could come in and dine in with your friends, or you could eat outside and bring your dog. You could grab a quick beer and play some pinball, or you could grab some pasta to go from the market and take it home and cook. So he really just wants to have like a very unique place that is like a really friendly and relaxed environment. The environment is really important for him, and he wants to build a good community and give really good food to people.
So we asked him, how do you define bad and good management? So he started with good by saying hiring people who share a common vision and are willing to put in effort and be a part of a team. He really emphasized having a common vision because if everybody in the work area has the same kind of vision and everything like towards succeeding in the business, then he felt like they would do a lot better. And of course, being organized was a huge thing for him. Because without that, then everything would be kind of chaotic. And he even said himself he cannot run that way. So definitely everything had to be organized. And then bad, he was entirely against definitely bullying employees and not being part of a team and having some issues with one another. So that definitely was a big strike for him. So he felt like if everything's not cohesive, then it's not going to work.
So next we asked him what are some characteristics of a good manager. And so again, he said organized and consistent and proactive, and you have to be a good communicator and able to delegate. So he talked a lot about being able to organize everything and see like into the future and be proactive about scheduling and be proactive about what days are going to be busy and being able to schedule for that, and also communicating with your staff like when they're working or when they need to complete some training like ahead of time. So that is the qualities.
And then we asked him what is the most challenging part about being a manager. He said definitely planning schedules and figuring out what he should devote his time to since he kind of gets pulled in a lot of different directions. And then thinking ahead and being well prepared for what's going to happen next at the restaurant, if there's events or anything else like that, really. And then funding, when Basil's first opened, it was super underfunded, and he kind of thought that Boone would be like Raleigh or Charlotte and have a lot of traffic, but it didn't. So that definitely caused a lot of issues because since there was not a lot of traffic, that meant not a lot of money, therefore underfunded. So he definitely had to find a way to counteract that.
And then we asked, how has Basil's evolved over the years? So Basil's is 5 years old now, and it used to be more of a market, which was his original vision. And so there was counter service, so people would come up and order sandwiches from the counter. He said there was bad lighting, and there were 6 beers on tap, including some of the cheaper beer like PBR. And he was really like devoting most of his efforts into the market. And now it is a table service, like casual dining. So we have bartenders, servers, hosts, and it is paired with Boonshine Brewery. And so usually there are about 20 beers on tap, all from Boonshine. And so that draws in a whole different crowd of people and a lot more people because it's a craft brewery. And the menu is completely different. He said they shifted more to lunch menu because that's when he noticed more people started coming in for lunch rather than dinner. And so there's a lot of sandwiches and so the menu is very different, and it is a lot more popular now. So the business has really grown a lot.
And for the last slide, we decided we would kind of give our own experiences of like what we've seen in the restaurant business since both of us have worked in a restaurant. So for me, I felt like a manager needs to communicate effectively to their workers and should explain what needs to be done to meet the goals and expectations of the business. Because I know my boss at my old restaurant job, she would not always communicate things, so it made things unclear, and people were kind of walking around not sure what to do. So that was a huge thing for me in my experience.
And for me, I actually work at Basil's, and it's really important for me to be able to know my schedule ahead of time and be able to like plan my life around that. Patrick actually used to do my scheduling, but he then delegated his job to scheduling the front of the house to another person, and then he does the scheduling for the back of the house, which made everything a lot more organized. So now we get our schedule in advance, and it's just made me a lot happier as an employee there. And also, it's really important for me to have a happy like work community and feel like I'm friends with my staff, and we can be productive together and work as a team. And so Patrick has done really good at building a friendly community there. He'll like host Christmas parties and stuff for the employees to help us bond. And I think that really strengthens the overall community at the restaurant.
And I think that's it. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know.